You have to be a really sick son of a bitch to have voted for Trump at any point. At any point. I don't care if you voted for him in 2016 and then came to some understanding. I don't care if you voted for him in 2020 and then got appalled by the January 6th thing and decided not to vote for him anymore. Like, I was 20 years old when he came down that escalator. I was in college. I knew immediately that he was a fucking monster. It wasn't even a hidden fact. It wasn't even like that wasn't like a difficult thing to come to. It didn't require like any brain power at all. It's so blatant to the point where it's obnoxious how bad of a person he is. He's always been this way. And it's like, I think the framing of this, the framing when we talk about Trump supporters matters, because everybody's always saying that they're stupid, that they're evil, that they're just racist, that they're just like deeply ignorant about things. All of that stuff might be true. But the fact is, these are some really sick people, like disgustingly sick people. And a lot of y'all's families are so much more fucked up than you realize on a mental and emotional level. You have to be mentally and emotionally deficient or just a purely evil person. But again, both of these things are included in that sickness. Like to see a man who has a lifelong history of being a depraved human being, and then think to yourself, I'm going to get behind that guy, there's something fundamentally wrong with you. And I'm like, I don't know how to get across the gravity that I'm trying to communicate here. I think because we live in America, we have like a lot of things have become normalized over time because it's so prevalent in our community, in our culture. For white Americans in particular, I'm just going to talk about the white Americans. I'm not going to talk about the minorities that voted for Trump, because it's the white Americans' vote that is the most powerful one, because they are the racial majority for now. But I don't think that we talk enough about how truly, like, there is a soul sickness amongst white people. Some of the shit that my white friends have told me, their parents have said, there's something legitimately wrong with these people, with these Trump supporters. It's like there's a festering rot in their soul. That's what I mean by sick. That's what I mean. Like, it's so far beyond just being racist. Because even if you were racist, okay, say I hated Chinese people. Say I was racist toward Chinese people. Okay. Even if that were the case, I would still not vote against my best interest in order to hurt Chinese people, because I don't hate Chinese people more than I love myself, or more than I want to preserve even if I don't love myself. Basic self-preservation is a human instinct. That's what I'm like. And so these Trump supporters went in there. I don't give a fuck what they say. They knew damn well. I don't care if they voted for him in 2016, 2020, or 2024. They went in there knowing that a Trump presidency would hurt them too, and they still did it. So they are missing that basic human instinct of even self-preservation because they hate other people so much. Because they are so ravenous over the idea of subjugating others. That's a really, really sick thing to do. And I think that when you start looking at it from the standpoint of these are very, very sick people, it becomes less about I hate Trump supporters and more about these, like I'm actually scared of these people.
She is so right, because Trump supporters are so blind to reality. They have seen the cruelty in the country. They have seen the chaos. They have seen the corruption. Deep down, they know they have been conned, but they still defend him. Because what they were being promised, nothing has been fulfilled. They actually don't care about the things that he did in his first term, because to them, it was all about getting a white man in the White House. Let's continue watching, then I'll come back with more commentary, all right? Let's dive into it.
There's something really wrong with them. Like, I think that they could possibly be institutionalized on that level. It's not a normal human thing to watch a genocidal, child fucking maniac stumble his way into damn near World War III. We don't even have to go that far. We don't even have to go as far as 2026. The shit this man did before he ever got in office the first time. It's to the point where on a certain level, like, I fear Trump supporters. Not like I'm scared of you, but it's like, what are you capable of? If you are capable of voting for Trump, supporting the depraved shit that he does, supporting the cater of criminals that he has surrounded himself with his entire life, I fear what you are capable of as a person, because that's a monster. And a normal human reaction to evil should be repulsion. The minute I heard him speak in 2015, I said, oh, that's a demon. That's a monster. It was so obvious to the point where it was like, how are you guys not seeing this? And that blindness or that willingness to go along with evil is what I'm talking about when I say that these people, specifically white Americans, are a very, very sick people. And I don't think that most people around the world have really been confronted with that the way that Black people have always been. And I think that people are just now starting to come to terms with the fact that, like, when I'm telling you, 1 out of 2 of these white people are evil and soulless as fuck. And the numbers, the fact that they support this shit, the fact that they keep voting for this man. I'm not even going to get into the fact about how he actually didn't win in 2024. I'm not even going to get into that because the voting record still stands for white America. You're so deep into this white American colonial imperialistic indoctrination that you can no longer even tell the difference between good and evil. That's a really sick thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying a colonizer's most formidable weapon is misinformation, which is why America's entire image that's been projected around the globe is nothing but propaganda, because a colonizer's biggest weapon is rewriting reality. That's why they rewrite the history books. That's why they put out all of these shows and movies. That's why there's Israeli propaganda throughout all of our shows and movies, because a colonizer can't get very far unless they can gaslight you, unless they can lie to you, unless they can convince you that right is left and up is down. And so when I say these are sick people, I mean they are missing fundamental traits of their humanity that allow them to acknowledge evil for what it is, that allow them to be able to see a clear and present danger and then adjust their behavior accordingly. They can't do these things. These people are legitimately sick. I'm not saying this as an insult. They are fundamentally incapable of telling right from left, distinguishing between black and white. They don't know right from wrong. And if they do know right from wrong and they still choose to do wrong, they're evil, which is just another way of saying sick, because evil people are sick people too. But I really, 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 really am trying to harp on this because I really don't think that a lot of people understand how sick and deluded these people are. And people are always saying that Trump supporters are just stupid. Trump supporters are just ignorant. They're just racist. They're just, okay, that might be a part of it. Bitch, I feel like I'm not getting my point across very well. Racist, sure. Ignorant, sure. Malicious, sure. But what I'm saying is, it is deeply unnatural to align yourself with rapists and murderers and pillagers and conquistadors and just like cartoonishly evil people. It's not a natural thing. And so the fact that so many white Americans can so easily align themselves with actual supervillains and then turn around, smile in your face and tell you they're a Christian, this is an inversion of reality that these people are living in. And that's a really, really delusional, psychotic position to occupy. And I don't know that I've seen a lot of people really talking about this. It goes so far beyond ignorance and racism, y'all. So when white Americans are going home and they're breaking bread with their families over the holidays, I want you to understand, I'm not judging you for still wanting to talk to your mama. That's the woman that birthed you. I'm not judging you for not wanting to never speak to your grandparents again. Family is a complicated thing, but what I'm saying is, if your family is MAGA, you need to understand fundamentally these are some sick fucks. And it is not normal. This is not natural human behavior. This is generations of colonization and imperialism and white supremacy that's been baked into damn near an entire race of people to the point where they can no longer distinguish reality from fantasy. That's a really dangerous and scary thing. That's a really sick thing. And you need to move with caution around these people. They are not well. I have never in my life met a Trump supporter that is a healthy, normally functioning human being. They're always addicted to something, always manipulative, always mean, always sad, just, oh my. If you have Trump supporters in your life, all I'm saying is like, be careful. Be careful. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not even trying to be insulting. I'm being so dead ass serious. You don't know what these people are capable of because they are detached from natural human instinct. That's insane. That's insane. And when you think about the fact that these people are like usually the descendants of the people who used to have picnics at lynchings and who used to get off on black pain, like almost to a sexual degree, it starts to make sense. There's a soul rot in America. And now everybody can see it except for the people who are rotten themselves. So when you guys talk to your parents, when you talk to your grandparents, just keep in the back of your head, this is a sick, sick, sick person.
A lot of Trump supporters aren't just supporting a person, they are supporting what he represents to them. For some, it's about feeling heard. For others, it's pushing back against a system that they don't trust. And for many, it's about values. They feel that they're being ignored. A lot of his supporters, they don't believe or even watch mainstream news. So when they hear negative stories about him, they assume it's exaggerated or even fake. So they're not seeing the same reality others are seeing. So they're getting a completely different version of events. Also, some people support him because of specific policies like immigration or conservative values. So even if they don't like everything he says or even does, they feel like he aligns with what matters to them. There's also a psychological factor. It's hard for anyone to admit they were wrong once you have strongly supported someone, especially publicly. So it can feel uncomfortable to change your mind. So people double down on that instead. And yes, for some supporters, fear and anger are powerful motivators, Fear about change, fear about the future, and fear about losing opportunities. Trump speaks about those emotions very directly, which creates strong loyalty, And it's easy to call it brainwashing, but the reality is more complicated. People don't just follow leaders, they follow what those leaders represent to them. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.